What is up, guys, and welcome to the Meeple Minded. It's the show where we have somehow managed to turn not going into Essen into a full-blown production. There's no crowds, no jet lag, no bratwursts, just us, a dodgy internet connection, and some rather suspect pretzels and beer, more importantly. With that being said, my name is Jason.
I'm James.
And I'm Ant.
How are you doing this week, guys?
Not going to not Essen.
Not Essen. Not Essen. Essen in Exile, I think we're going to be calling this one, aren't we?
Another year, of me not going to Essen.
Well, I mean, it's no real surprise, is it? Like you said this year, you were definitely going to go to Essen, right?
I hoped, but then life.
Yes. We said after last year
We definitely weren't going.
that we were going. Well, I said I was going to at least try.
Attempts.
I know you said that.
I definitely was out of it.
You
Yeah.
was definitely out of it. But yeah, with the moving it was not meant to be, which really does suck. But yeah, we're sort of somewhat creating it here, aren't we? I mean, we have beer. We have
beer.
We have pretzels.
All we needed was bratwurst.
We did need bratwurst, but I have a life.
Wrong country.
I couldn't. Those currywurst, man. But
Oh,
anyway,
yeah, true.
just stop talking about that because that might be something I'm going to miss, which we will talk about later on. Because while we may be in exile from Essen this year, that doesn't mean that that FOMO isn't real. So before the FOMO hits too hard, let's find out what is on the Meeple menu this week.
First up, we have the setup phase, where we'll run through the latest board game news and rumours.
And then it's time for some Meeple Moments, where we share the stories from the games that we have been playing recently.
And finally, for this week's edition of Dicey Discussions, we'll be talking about Essen SPIEL itself, or rather, what we're actually annoyed about missing from this year's event. So that's our menu for today, and we are kicking things off with a few news stories that caught my eye over this past couple of weeks, starting with the sad one as French publisher Ludonaut, best known for games such as Cult Express and Living Forest, has announced it will stop publishing new games after 2025. This decision follows the sale of its major IPs and comes amid growing economic pressures in the board game industry. In a statement to tabletop news website Board Game Wire, Ludonaut said the economics of publishing have shifted from a passion to survival, citing rising production costs, tighter margins, and fierce competition from large international publishers. Further explaining that while the company will finish out its final projects, it will not be accepting new pitches of games or expansions. The sale of its flagship titles was framed as a way to ensure the continued income for the original designers. So guys, sad times as we lose yet another publisher in these tough times.
Indeed, another one bites the dust.
Another one bites
Which
the
you was
dust.
about to say, yeah.
And I mean, there has been some other news with regards to Call Me or Not. I know me and Ant have been talking about that recently, but there's been some further updates with regards to that as well, asking for more money from certain crowdfunding because they couldn't afford the tariffs and the postage and what have you. And those things only amount to something like $7,000, and they're saying they can't afford it. I mean, that tells you how bad their situation. But, Ludonaut was a horrible one for me to read because I love Living Forest. Living Forest is one of my favourite games. It's still in my collection now. And Cult Express, and I think that's one that
I love Cult Express,
you absolutely love. So
one of my gateway games, that was.
Yeah, they've done quite a few games that we quite like as a unit. And to know that they're not going to be publishing anymore, and those words as well, I don't know, how you feel about it, but it was quite, I guess, heart-wrenching and scathing of what has become of the business.
I mean, no one wants to ever hear a business go down, and especially when it's your hobby,
Of course.
It's always going to be gut-wrenching. I mean, it was tough for me when Simon was saying, I mean, I can see them making the same sort of statement once their Kickstarters are done.
Oh, yeah.
That they won't be releasing anything else after that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and let's just hope it's not going to be many other studios, board game studios, are going to be doing the same thing.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And, I've got to say my personal thanks to Ludonaught, because I think they have done some amazing, amazing games. And they were one of the few publishers out there that you would sort of say they are very passionate about the hobby and the hobbyists, more to the point. And I think the statement that they put out as well just backs that whole thing up, And just that final part there as well, I wanted to pick up on as well, because they sold the original IPs that they had. I'm not 100% which ones they are, but I believe Living Forest and Cult Express is some of them. But that statement of this will continue to be an income stream for the original designs, again showing their dedication to the business and to the designers as well, ensuring that their revenue streams will carry on, even though theirs is clearly not going to carry on. So I think a lot of dedication there from Ludonaught. So
Absolutely.
That one's another upsetting one. Moving on to our second story. This may make James's ears prick up, as Don't Starve, the board game, which is based on the hit survival video game of the same name, has absolutely been smashing it over on Kickstarter, managing to raise over $1 million in its first 24 hours. The publisher, Glass Cannon Unplugged, attributes the success to a successful pre-launch campaign, which included extensive designer Q&As, genuine community polls, and early reveals of the game's modular board and survival mechanics. The game promises a tough but atmospheric cooperative experience where players scavenge resources, build contraptions, and battle both hunger and horrifying monsters, much like the original. Each character features distinct traits mirroring the video game's quirky tone. So, James, Don't Starve Together, is this a game that you've played on the PC?
It's actually not.
Is it not?
No, I never played it. This was one that you played.
See, I thought this would be right up your street.
No, I played...
Oxygen Not Included?
That's the one.
I believe that's another one they made, right?
From the same studio. But yeah, I never played Don't Starve Together. I've heard about it. I've heard it's a very, very good game.
It is an incredibly good game. It is brutal. I mean, to bring Ant in onto this one, I made the Dark Souls reference a little while ago.
Yep.
And Don't Starve Together is kind of my Dark Souls, right?
Okay.
It's so brutal and so hard. And, you get the right sort of group to play it, and it's really good fun. But, when they first announced this was coming over to tabletop, I sort of thought, how are they going to do that? But then thought, do you know what? A survival game in board game form actually sounds really fun. I can just see it being really interesting. Is it the kind of thing that you guys would be interested in playing?
I'm interested to see how it's the same with every video game to board game conversion. I'll be interested to see how it translates.
Yeah. It seems to be that we're getting a lot of these translations over from digital into the tabletop form now, and it shows no signs of slowing down. And I believe Glass Cannon Unplugged, they also did, I want to say it was Frostpunk, the board game, which got really good praise as being true to the source material. Now I haven't played that. I can't comment on it personally. No. I haven't even played the digital implementation of it. But when you've got a company that has got a proven track record of being able to do things justice, I'm interested. I'm genuinely interested in Don't Starve Together. And I think, being completely honest, I think this one might well be one of those that will be, for the topic of the episode, a huge hit at convention. I can just see it.
Yeah.
I can definitely see it. But yeah, that is Don't Starve Together over on Kickstarter right now. Go and check it out. Okay, guys, so story number 3, we are sticking with Kickstarter, but more concerning news for all who use the platform, as Kickstarter employees, represented by Kickstarter United, remain on strike as of October 2nd, 2025, after contract negotiations broke down. The core demands of the workers are to formalise the 32-hour 4-day work week, which has been informally in place for 3 years, and setting a minimum salary to ensure a livable wage. The union claims management refused to codify these terms into a binding contract and also wants the flexibility to revert to a 5-day week without compensating extra hours. The union insists that the working hours and pay floors must be negotiated, not dictated unilaterally. Kickstarter has since responded publicly, saying they've reached an agreement on most items, but expressed disappointment that the union chose to continue the strike. They've reassured backers that the platform will remain fully operational, supporting ongoing campaigns as negotiations continue. So, some strained relations over at Kickstarter are arguably one of the biggest crowdfunding platforms out there, not just for board games, but in general.
Never get this issue with GameFound.
Oh, shots fired there. Shots fired. I mean, GameFound's still fairly young, right?
Still pretty
sure
reliable at
it'll
the moment.
But yeah, I mean, we're British, right? Strikes seem to be the
go-to
thing here at the minute.
Yep.
How do we feel, and what do you think about the demands, I guess, of the staff there? Because I mean, the 4-day work week is kind of a new thing, right? And you can't really defend that one, can you? Because you do work a 4-day work week,
Just longer hours.
but yeah, how would you like a 4-day work week that's only 32 hours, sir?
No, it's not livable.
No, especially not in the UK.
Not in these times where everything is rising, even board games are rising. So no, it needs to be doable for everyone to work in, an economy where we have to live.
Yep.
So,
I mean, I would need more clarification on that. What are they asking for when they say a 4-day work week? It's like, what are they currently working? It's like, because I mean, yeah, I'd be grouching for a 4-day work week if from the sound of it, where they don't have formal hours and formal pay structure, it's basically, Jason, I need you to work today.
Yeah. It's I mean, like you said, a bit more of
And I need you to work 3 days next week and 2 days the week after that. And
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. And what these arguments usually the root cause of is, I want regularity so that I can plan, the other parts of my life.
yes, yeah, your time's off.
Yeah.
Yeah, and things like that. But I mean, the core one there, I would say that I think is I guess a standard argument is, of course, the living wage that they mention. I don't know how much they get paid. I don't really want to know how much they get paid. But if they're claiming that they need a wage that allows them to live, it kind of makes you feel like maybe they're on freelance.
I was going to say, it sounds very much like that. It's like, okay, so you might get quite a few hours when a project is reaching fulfillment, and then you're back down to 1 day a week, maybe, because I don't need you.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a fair.
It's kind of like
comment.
For our listeners in the UK will know what I talk about. It sounds very much like they're all on 0-hour contracts.
Yes, yeah. And obviously, Kickstarter's a big American company. I don't know what the rules and regs are around that. I know, was 0-hour contracts axed here in the end? I know that.
No,
was
it's still a thing.
Well.
They're trying. There are certain parties that want to axe them, but no one seems to actually want to pull the trigger on it.
Yeah, no, that's fair. But Kickstarter is it's an interesting one. I don't know how it's run behind the scenes. It would seem as a company that clearly makes a substantial amount of money. Maybe there's some justification to the strike. I'm interested to see how they're continuing to function with the staff out on strike, and whether creators have indeed had the backing that they were expecting to get from using the platform. But as the previous news story just said, we've got big board game campaigns that are absolutely smashing it on there at the minute and not having any issues. So one would assume that Kickstarter have ensured that there are enough people to run the service, but then it might sort of backfire on the union if they can sort of go, well, actually, we can run successfully at this much staff level. So I'll tell you what, we'll cut the staff and we'll up the pay for the people that do stay.
Yeah. I mean, strikes strikes are complicated things because it's like just because they're out on strike doesn't mean that all the employees are part of the union, therefore on strike.
Of course, yeah.
It will just be the union members who are on strike. But then you get into that whole mishmash and crossed loyalties about crossing picket lines and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, if it's not a very big union, the strike might not have very much effect if the employees who aren't a part of the union are still turning up for work, basically. But, I don't know how these things work in the States.
No.
I know here that crossing a picket line would not go down well.
No, exactly. We're quite militant about our unions over here, and I don't believe the Americans are quite as militant with unions as well.
Well, I don't know. It's like we're the general populace here is quite sort of with the unions. From what I understand of the Americans, the general populace over there, maybe not as much, but the ones who are more militant than the ones here. Yeah. So I would not want to cross a picket line in the States.
No. Well, let's just say it's a shame, really, because obviously Kickstarter is a strike within one company. The strikes we're used to seeing in the UK, let's be honest, they tend to be the transport, trains, which tend to bring the country to a standstill. The nurses, NHS, which brings the country to a standstill. Pretty much every strike we see in the UK tends to bring the country to a standstill. I don't think this one's going to have quite the same effect.
No.
But hopefully it gets across their point.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll get a resolution that they're all happy with.
It will be one of those ones where it's like you said, it's one company. So it's like, it's not going to impact the average citizen.
Yeah.
But the whole point of a strike is to bring the company to the table and negotiate it. Well, your business stops.
Yeah.
It's that whole bringing the country to a standstill on a smaller scale. It's like, well, you're not getting anything done until you at least sit down around this table with us.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we're not happy.
Yeah. And I guess for me and Ant, this is an important one, because if there's certain things at Kickstarter that can't get done, I think Ant might be in agreement with me. If they forget to charge me for something that I'm pledging for, I'm okay with that. I'll take the hit. Do you agree with that one?
We all?
Yeah, the bad news there, unfortunately, mate, is that what will happen in that scenario is that they'll eventually catch up and then you get hit for like 5 at the same time.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I'm probably backing 5 at the same time at the minute. There's been a lot of Kickstarters actually recently. My wallet is taking a bit of a pounding, I must admit.
Wallet.
Yeah. But Ant, how do you feel about it? Do you think the people at Kickstarter deserve more money, or should we just say no to all Kickstarter? It's all about Game Found.
Everyone deserves money in a time like this, so I'm all for them. And like James says, even though they're in the union, they can still decide whether to go on strike or not. Because if you go on strike, you don't get paid. So it's up to them in the end of the day. But we'll find out soon in life. If my Kickstarter gets delayed, I'll know why.
Exactly. So a real mixture of good and bad things happening in the world of board games right now, but let's take this time to try and lighten the mood as we move into some recent Meeple Moments. This is the part of the show where we talk about the games we have actually been playing and did manage to get to the table. So guys, what's been hitting the table this week for you? Ant, would you like to kick us off?
It's always me starting, but I'll take it. So I haven't really been playing an awful lot, but I have been playing this one game at the moment, which funny enough, came through as a Kickstarter. And it's only a little card game called Stacks.
Okay, yep.
So Stacks is essentially Uno, but in 3D, if you will.
Oh, nice.
So the cards are essentially normal playing cards, but they're in like the shape of a cube, a three-dimensional cube.
Nice.
And you essentially are trying to get rid of all your cards. So suits go upwards, so they build upwards. Your numbers, if you have the same number as the cards, you can go right, and if you have like a king, queen, or jack, you can go to the left. But the beautiful side of this game is that it's like a 3D game, so you can build over cards and you can go around and change the suit and you can make it go a different way. It messes with your brain. I had players play it and they couldn't keep track of where the cards were going. So guess what I had to do? I had to buy the play mat to show people where cards go.
Oh, you had to?
I had to because it actually shows people where the cards go. So,
okay.
So I had to. And it is a new play.
Much the same as I have to buy the compile.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely. I mean, it helps people out and it makes people want to play the game more because they know where cards are going now. But I've had a lot of fun with this recently. I've played it to my family and guys from Legend Podcast, and everyone loves it at the moment. So it's just one of those quick and easy card games. Very much like Uno, when you get to the last card and you don't say, oh no, you get punished and you get another 3 cards.
Okay, yep.
But yeah, highly recommend it if you get a chance. It's currently funded on Kickstarter, so it might come out in retail next month, I believe, or maybe just after Essen, who knows.
Nice. Very, very nice. Sounds interesting. I wouldn't mind giving it a
No,
go
it's-
at some point, to be fair. I don't
Quick
decide
10-minute game. Next time.
That sounds like the kind of sort of thinky game that we've been playing recently with the lights. So like you said, compile, and what's the one with the cards?
Tacta.
Tacto. That's
Yeah,
it. Like,
Just go- yeah,
games
yeah,
like
pretty
that.
much like that.
Sounds very much like that. So I'd like to give that one a go. It sounds very interesting.
Nice. James, what have you been playing recently? I'm choosing you next.
Yeah.
Because I get a feeling I know what you're going to choose, which
Because-
will mean I'll have to choose something different.
Yes, because I've only played one game this week, and that is T-Witches.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yes. We had a learning game of T-Witches on Monday.
How
Now,
is
I'm-
it?
I'm interested about this
Yep.
because I know that me and James differ on some opinions on this game.
Oh, intrigued now.
Yes.
That's what I was looking forward to as well.
So I'll give you your time to speak, James. One, while I'm finding a game that I can talk about in a minute, but also to formulate my argument and tell you that you're wrong.
Oh yeah, so we're not going into that because we'll save that for when we actually do it as a proper episode, because going into the mechanics a bit too much. It suffices to say it was a long game because there's quite a bit involved in that game, and it was, as we decided to basically spring it on Dave, that he had to learn it in an hour.
Yeah.
Basically, and then we decided to try and play it.
To be fair, I did bribe him with pizza.
You did, and if that didn't work, you threw in a drink.
How
as
did I
well.
know Jason wasn't going to learn this?
He literally took the rule book out of the box and went, Dave.
Yep. It's not a lie.
Honestly, Jason.
So I would say the first play probably didn't give us the impression we hoped it would, but it did leave us yearning for a second game once we'd got the grip of it.
Yep.
So very much looking forward to that second play, basically. Now I know how it works. But yes, you and I definitely differ on some thoughts on mechanics and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind going into it a little bit because, it's probably going to be a while before we talk about it on here again. If we do, that is, I might end up just doing a video on it, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's Flamecraft on steroids.
Oh,
yeah.
But, Flamecraft with a lot more going on, which isn't always a bad thing, but I will admit that's probably my negative to it, is there was maybe a bit too much going on. There was certain mechanics in the game, like the takeaway. Was it takeaway?
The to go orders.
It's basically personal objectives that can be cashed in at any point on any player's turn
Yep.
if certain teas are in certain areas, and that can be while a player is moving stuff about,
Yeah.
which could be mid-turn, which means you're stopping a player in their tracks to claim your bonus, and it's a mess, and it slows the game down way too much for me.
Yep.
That is a problem. It's a part of the game that could easily be taken out and replaced with something that is actually fun.
Yeah, so I mean, so you say we differ. It's like we seem to actually agree on that. It's
We do
just
agree.
it's the bit afterwards that we don't agree on. Whereas I also think that they could do away with the to-go orders, mainly because I think getting rid of them and adding an extra round in would actually benefit the game more.
Yeah, which is
The bit
difference that we have.
you
is I
like,
think the game is too long as it is.
but I think that removing that mechanic would speed the game up.
I mean, it will be interesting to see, but unfortunately, that's a built-in mechanic into the game,
Which
so
is
you
the
can't
reason
really
why.
replace it.
And the second reason I'm not actually a fan of it is I don't think it's very thematic, because you're running a tea stall. So all orders are to-go orders.
Yeah.
It very much feels like it was tacked on as an afterthought.
It does, yeah. So, James, you think the game needs extra rounds? I think it
Just
needs
one.
Less
I think it
rounds.
just needs one extra round.
But I'll be honest. Let's get back onto a more positive vibe here, because I know Ant is excited to play this, and
I kind of was.
I'm making it sound like I didn't enjoy my game. I genuinely did. I really enjoyed the game. It was too long. I think it could be shorter. I think maybe if we weren't all learning, it might be a bit quicker. But the production of that game, man,
Yes, it's stunning.
so
but
good.
you know, I'd expect nothing less from the same artists that did
Yes. So it's
Flamecraft.
the same artist who did Flamecraft, but this one I believe is produced by the Op rather than
Lucky Duck.
Cardboard Alchemy or Lucky Duck. I think it might even be the same designer, but I could be wrong. I can't remember. It's definitely the same artist. It's set in the same universe, to be honest. So yeah,
Flamecraft verse.
the Flamecraft verse. That'll be the next one. So yeah, production wise, absolutely stellar, absolutely lovely. Lots of little bits going on. Not too sure about that, and I do think you'll enjoy the game. But again, it's sort of like Pagola. There's going to be a lot to take in, what you can and can't do when, and as I said, the certain mechanics that that come in on other players' turns, even if it's mid-turn and they're moving stuff about, you've got to focus on what other people are doing. But because you're doing that, you're not planning your next turn, which adds to the analysis paralysis of the game. And I think that's its biggest problem, is it breeds analysis paralysis. In fact, it actively encourages analysis paralysis. So yeah, don't take it as I don't like this game, because I do like the game, but I have some concerns about the game. Production is lovely. Good choice, sir. Good choice. And I was right. That was the game I thought you were going to say. But
not a hard guess. It's the only game I've played this week.
Yeah, that's fair.
What is your choice then?
So I am going to go for another game that we have indeed played, and we played all together. And I've got a choice of two that we played in one night. But I want to talk about Fromage.
Oh yeah, that was a couple of weeks ago.
That was a couple of weeks ago, but it was since we recorded the last episode.
It was.
So we can indeed talk about it. So Fromage, I guess it's a worker placement game, right?
Yes,
it is.
Yeah,
most deemed as a
definitely.
worker placement. On that sort of lovely lazy Susan where the board is constantly moving, and then you're in a section and you've got to place a worker in. And I say it's a worker. It's not a worker, is it? It's like a cheese cover, isn't it? You place the cheese down and then
it's a cheese with the chef on it, but the type of cheese you put down depends on the age of the cheese.
Yeah, because it's like a bronze, a silver, and a gold cheese. The gold is going to be down on the board longer. I think it's 3 turns.
That's it, yep.
The bronze, you'll probably get it back the next turn. Not always, but most of the time. Silver is 2 turns. And obviously the different actions you can do in the different sections. You've got like a quarter of the board, and that quarter of the board is split into 2. You've got like a top section which gains you benefits.
Yeah, like resources you might need for later, for making different cheeses and stuff.
And then the bottom section is like it can be set collection and stuff like that. Is where you're going to generate your points.
Yes.
And on your turn, you can place 2 of your 3.
So you have 3, but make your maximum of 2 per turn.
Okay, so it's 2 per turn out of your 3. But obviously then you have to factor in how long are they going to be there, because you don't get them back until they're facing you again.
I think that's the thing that stands out for me for this game. I've never known a game to do something like that. Like, you can't get your meeple back or your player back until it points back directly at you. It's clever. I think that's pretty good.
And I find it interesting because you're also, you're looking at what's in front of you as well. What do I want? What do I want to achieve from this one? But you're also looking at the person to your right and going, what's he got? Because that's going to be with me next turn. So do I want to waste 2 of my 3 workers now when I could do with getting them back for the next bit?
Yep.
And then you've got idiots like James who keep taking your worker back, thinking it's his colour, and then
at least he had workers. So I had rounds where I had no workers coming back.
And that's the thing. If you don't plan well enough, you could end up with 0 workers and not able to do anything. And it's an interesting mechanic.
Yep, you make the mistake Ant did where
multiple times.
He didn't look far enough ahead, and you just hear the swearing coming from that end of the table when he realizes, I haven't got a meeple for another 2 turns.
And I can't even do anything. So, yeah. What a waste.
It was a good game. I think we have to mention the absolute props to the host of that night for providing a full cheese board.
Yes.
With crackers.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And cheese eating soundtrack.
We did.
In the background.
We genuinely had a cheese eating soundtrack in the background.
Honestly, I felt quite honoured that night.
Well, I don't drink wine. In fact, I hate wine. So we had the closest thing. We were drinking mead, which is made in the same place as a winery. It was in a winery. So yes, we enjoyed that. We did have a selection of cheese on the cheese board. And I keep checking to see when my Fromaggio is
Yeah.
coming, because that is due this year.
Okay.
So we might have to do the same again, but with Italian cheeses this time.
Which is better.
Oh yeah, it's one of the worst things though. Is like
Did you just like? You might have just kicked off an international conflict.
Hey, I come from an Italian family, so I'm going to be biased on that one. So
No, that's fair. I mean,
Worth
strong, that's fair.
mentioning that like these are French-based cheeses.
Yes.
I'm trying to get comments, James.
Oh, you'll
Drum up
get
the com-
Why don't you put down what your favorite type of cheese is? Comment below, let us know.
you'll get plenty with that comment.
But only one playthrough of it. What did you actually think of it?
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a game I've been wanting to play for a long time. I originally backed it on the crowdfunding. Financial struggles at the time. Oh woe is me. I just cancelled the pledge, and yeah, that was the sacrifice. Unfortunately, it was I didn't get the game, but luckily you managed to pick up a copy of it, and we got to play it, which was brilliant. So yeah. I really enjoyed it as the first play. I really want to play it again.
Yeah, same.
Whether I'd go to the full thing of having a cheese board every single time,
No.
of course I would.
But as long as,
Love
as
cheese.
long as we have the soundtrack.
Exactly, because as long as you got the soundtrack. But yeah, it's a really, really good one. And it, as I said, all it did was reinvigorate my love of the fact that I've got Formaggio coming, and I cannot wait to play it. I want to play it again, man. I really, really enjoyed it.
Too.
I really, really enjoyed it. And the theme is fantastic. It's an interesting game mechanism. And I think it was spot on. But I do just want to exert my authority and my power of the runner of this podcast to add in an extra game. And it's from the same night. To keep it thematic, we also played Wine Cellar. So let's just have a very quick chat about Wine Cellar. What do you guys think about Wine Cellar?
I love Wine Cellar. If anyone remembers or has been watching or listening to our podcast on the episode where it says, Anthony, what is your favorite games you're looking forward to 2025? This was my number one, and it hasn't disappointed. I love Wine Cellar.
I mean, there you have it.
That's it. Move on.
Really, really good game. Very fun, easy mechanics to work with. From what I remember, I've got to remember it. You have a hand of cards that have numbers on them.
And you're bidding for the wine bottles in the
of wine,
middle.
aren't they? And they've got like a symbol on them. They're different types. You've got red, white, rosé, and you're sort of playing a card face down.
Yeah, so you're bidding against other players to get the other wine bottles in the middle of the table.
That's it. And then you sort of reveal at the same time. That's your bid. Whoever gets the highest gets first dibs of the bottles in the middle, then second, then third. And then the cards that you've just played to bid become the next round's cards.
Exactly.
Obviously, the aim of the game is at the end, you want to have a set of cards, and they're placed in an order. So you start with one, and then as you gain bottles, you either add it to the top of the pile or the bottom of the pile.
Yeah.
So
you can't sneak it in the
move.
middle or anything.
Exactly. The bottles move which location they are. Depending on what location they are at the end, gives you how many points those bottles are worth. Then obviously you get a bonus thing with like if you have this type of wine, you get this much points.
Yeah, so you'll get clients at the beginning of the game. We give you types of wine they're looking for and the origin of the wine from what country it's from.
Yeah. And it's just really, really fun, interesting mechanism. It's light as anything. I think anybody would play it, and I think the theme works nicely.
Went well with the
It went well with the tunes. So yeah, it was a fully thematic night. Was that one? And a fun one at that. Okay. So that nicely wraps up our Meeple memories for this week. And gents, I think before we dive into this week's German flavoured Dicey Discussions, it may be time for a quick drinks top up. So we will get that sorted and be right back. Okay, guys, we are back. And I mean, first off, these pretzels, they're
delish.
They're not bad, are they?
They're a bit Moorish.
They're a bit Moorish, but they're not as salty as I wish they were. I'm sure we're annoying lots of people now eating.
And could you imagine super salty pretzels?
I was really tempted.
I'd be all in
to
on
get
that.
proper full-size pretzels for this episode, and but I was like, nah, yeah.
I was about to say
That they were just too reasonable. That's the problem. Because I was like, well, no, I'm going for the whole lesson thing. I need to buy some overpriced snacks. And what's more overpriced than a bag
Just a bag of pretzels.
salted pretzels that are like £3 for some obscure reason?
Clearly, we're going for budget cuts as well. Meeple Minded.
Indeed, indeed. But yeah, there you go. Beer and pretzels. What more can you say? What more German do you want?
It does actually make me laugh that Anne saying, can you imagine a super salty pretzel? It's like, I can actually. I've been to Disney.
Yes, indeed. Indeed.
It's like, don't get me wrong, really nice, but so salty that it immediately made me go and buy one of their hideously overpriced large sodas because it was like, I need to drink something.
So just to veer from the Essen conversation ever so slightly, if you're at Disneyland, it's all about the ginormous turkey legs.
That too.
Yeah.
It's all
Hell
about
yeah.
those, right? All about those. But anyway, we're not here to talk about Disney World or Disneyland or Shanghai Disney or any of the other Disneys for that matter. We're here to talk about Essen and, more importantly, how we're not going.
Be prepared for an episode, guys.
Aye, yes. So yeah, Essen and Exile for us this year. I guess the first question I'm going to ask you both, and I'll start with you because as someone who's actually been to Essen, are you actually upset that you're not going?
I'm actually not, to be honest.
Are you not?
No.
Is there a particular reason why you're not upset?
I think I mentioned this to you beforehand that I like to do Essen every couple of years, if I can help it. Because even going last year was still games that I played previously from 2 years ago were still there. And I felt like, come on, move on a bit now. Let's see the new stuff. So I don't feel like I'm missing out on much. Like, I don't think there's many games I'm really after this year. So if I like gap it a year, then maybe I can look forward to it a bit more the next time sort of thing. Expo is totally different because we don't get as many big releases as Essen does.
Of course.
We only get a couple, maybe a smidge of new releases every year is there. But so I don't mind doing that every year. But Essen's the big one. We had a bit of an issue with the dates it was on last year because it was on like a bank holiday or something last year.
Yes.
So it was super, super busy. And that's probably one thing I'm definitely not going to miss at Essen this year is barging through people and trolleys that we mentioned on an episode once.
Oh, yeah.
So in honesty, Jason, I am and I'm not, but more not on the not side.
That's fair. I am genuinely upset that I'm not going because, as I said last year, it was my first time last year. I really, really enjoyed myself. Yeah, the crowds were absolutely mental, obviously because of that bank holiday in Germany. And I'm more leaning towards that. I am upset I'm not going, but there are some things that I'm not going to miss from this year, and I will be honest, there's not as many games that I'm interested in.
So I say
this year.
I looked through the whole list for prep for this episode, and I think I maybe found 4 out of like the 1,500 that's going to be out or something.
I mean, I'm genuinely trying to come up with a video that I'm going to do for Essen with regards to games that people should check out. While
Totally, yeah, absolutely.
And I'll be honest, the problem, I sort of told myself I can't talk about games that we saw at Expo because we've already talked about them. They're already there, but they're the only games that I'm actually looking at and going, they're probably the only ones I would say people need to check out. If I'm completely honest. So I am struggling, but there are a few that have sort of highlighted themselves to me. But games wise, I'm not as bothered this year. Now, I would be bothered missing Expo because of the games and playing side of things. But yeah, that is what it is. But James, I kind of feel bad for you because you really wanted to go this year.
I really wanted to go this year, but I think I'm going to differ from both of you and what you've just said there is because I haven't experienced it, and it's the game.
Yeah.
If you're into tabletop board games,
it's the bucket list.
Pretty much everyone I suppose is.
It's the tippy top.
You have to go.
Tippy top. Yeah, you need to go to it. And I feel sorry for you that you haven't been. It would have been nice to have you with us last year, and I genuinely wanted to do this year because I knew you wanted to go. Even if I wasn't able to convince Ant to go, we could have still gone. But yeah, like I said, the moving the dates of it really did hinder me quite a bit. As it turns out, I could have actually done it this year, but I found that out too late, which is really annoying. But yeah, it is what it is. What about it are you sort of upset that you are missing?
The whole experience, basically. We were discussing this on Monday at the gaming club about when you pitched this episode. I was like, my answer is going to be very simple because I haven't experienced it. I'm gutted that I'm missing everything.
Yeah.
I need to experience it at least once before I can give you a narrowed down list of, okay, I'm going to specifically miss this.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've kind of broken some talking points down into bullet points here. that I guess we can cover very, very quickly. And I think the first one is going to be one of the fastest ones that we managed to get through. One, because James doesn't ever look at lists of games that are coming out. But and as we've already said, we're both not...
Yeah.
Our lists aren't going to be that long. So it's like, if you could pick 1 or 2 games that you are genuinely upset you're not going to be able to either buy or
Yeah, I
out,
can do that, totally.
what are you looking at and that you would have liked to have seen?
The one I was more like I would have gone to Essen for is hang on, I need to look for my so there's 2 games that I really would have wanted.
Okay.
One of them is called Facilium.
Okay.
And I don't know if you've ever heard of it or seen it, but it's basically you get to create your own natural history museum.
I'm interested.
So literally it's a worker placement game where you have architects digging for fossils, as well as another map that has your museum on it. So when your archaeologists find enough fossils, they go in specific spaces on your map, on your board, shall I say. And what you do is, so say like I need 4 pieces of a fossil, and if you get all the pieces, it creates a masterpiece, like a part of you get like a 3D model of a dinosaur that goes on top of it and stuff, and it's all like cardboard and stuff. But the fact that it was just such a unique idea, I love museums, especially natural history museums with dinosaurs and stuff. But the fact you get to create your own one, and it's like there's 2 different types of worker placement to it, and you have to try and attract other people to come into your museum. But then if you see like I'm trying to build a T-Rex, for example, and your archaeologist gets the last piece before I do, how am I supposed to build that from now?
Yeah.
So you've screwed my business over, Jason. How dare you?
Oh, well, no surprise there.
But yeah, that one really stuck out for me because everyone else has picked near enough the same type of game and no one's ever mentioned this one. I think it's going to go very much under the radar, Essen. I have asked a specific connection outside of to try and grab me a copy.
Yep.
If he can, please, Simon. But apart from that, I think that's the one I'm really, really looking forward to. The other one is just a side game. It's a trick-taking game called Movie Tricks.
It's actually on my list as well.
And that's another one where I love my movies. I love making movies. And here's a trick-taking game about making movies. Sign me up.
Yep. Yeah, why not? It's an interesting theme for a trick taker as well. So yeah, that's why it made it on my list as well. So there's only a few games again that I'll message them. I'll mention them briefly because, as I said, I am going to try and make a video of some sort.
Yeah.
But there's the big one, obviously, Sanctuary.
Oh,
the new Arc Nova
Yes.
tile placement style game, which is supposed to be more streamlined, quicker, faster. But the people that have played it are saying quite the opposite of that. In fact. So I'm genuinely interested. It would have been a game that I would have gone out of my way to check out.
I hear it's a dumbed-down version of it.
Yeah, it's essentially
right,
what it's meant to be. So yeah, I was interested in checking it out. I believe it's for sale there, so I probably would have picked it up.
You would have, come on.
Actually, yeah, I'm completely honest. So yeah, Sanctuary is one that I'm sort of kind of upset I'm missing out on. There is also another one called Fantasy Brewers, which I was genuinely interested in. And this one
I've heard of this.
sort of stood out to me because of Distilled, in fact. I love Distilled as a game. And Fantasy Brewers was one that stood out because, well, yeah, you're brewing beer in a fantasy setting. And I was just, oh, well, that sounds quite interesting. The board looks interesting as well. And it's just... It's a theme that I quite like the sound of.
Isn't it tea witches if it was distilled?
Basically, yeah.
I mean, come on, it's a good combo, right? I mean...
Yep, exactly. But there are a couple as well that I was interested in, but as it turns out, they're actually going to be released in the UK at exactly the same time. So you've got Tag Team was one that we first picked out at Expo. I would have 100% picked that up while I was there.
Totally.
Now I know that it's coming out here. I'm
Don't
not
need
bothered.
to.
There is the I Made You a Mixtape game, which is being released there. Again, I'm not too fussed about that. I know I've got a copy coming, so that'll be with me soon. Compile Main 2 is going to be at Essen, and that is the main game that I am really...
That's the reason why you'd go.
...stuff about not being there. And yes, I will apologise for having to bleep that out. But I'm really angry that I'm not able to pick that up, but I'm sure it's going to be released here at the same sort of time. Really excited for Compile Main 2. 100% that would have been a buy. we probably would have played it in the hall, knowing me.
Yeah.
So that one I'm very, very interested in.
And I would have made you learn tag team as well.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I mean, there's a few others.
Yeah, there's a couple more I'm just going to mention quickly, but they're out next week, or the week after Essen anyway. But they're both dual games, which is obviously White Castle Duel
Yep.
and Furnace Duel. I love Furnace. I mean, I think it's a very underrated bidding game. I think it's on par with Ra, but just below it.
Yep.
And the fact that they've done a dual version, I'm quite intrigued as to how they're going to do the bidding system for that. So yeah, those two, the other two, we're looking forward to.
So yeah, there's only a few games.
Yeah,
I'm particularly upset though, and most of them I think are going to come out here pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Normally, when we're talking about games coming out of Essen, it's months before they come out here. The only one that I think might struggle to come out here quickly is Sanctuary, and that's because of experience with Art Nova. It took 6-7 months before it came out in the UK. But yeah, so hot new releases, air quotes, not that fussed about this year.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, because I believe we had that issue with the release of the games coming out the same time or the week after. I remember last year being in the queue to get Castle Combo,
Yeah.
right? And then it was near enough 5 more people before me and it was going to be sold out.
Yeah.
So what did I do? Went on Zatu and they had it there and I ordered it for next day delivery.
Yeah.
So why am I in this queue for a game that's going to be there waiting for me?
Exactly.
So yeah. So make sure you check out your releases, guys.
Yeah, exactly. And if it's coming out here, just order it here.
Exactly.
You know, support your friendly local game store. So let's talk about something that James might actually be able to assimilate with, even though he hasn't done Expo. Because my next section is, of course, the atmosphere and the social experience that is Essen. Now, James, you've experienced the UK Games Expo. You've heard us rattle on about Essen and what it's like.
Yep.
How are you disappointed or excited for not having to deal with them mental crowds?
I was going to say, it's the one aspect of it that I'd probably say I wouldn't be looking forward to if I went. And that's just because I'm a very impatient person. I can handle crowds.
Yep.
I'm not as likely to be able to handle being hit every 5 minutes with a trolley.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's fair. What about you, Ant? You experienced the horrible crowds last year. I think it's only going to be worse this year.
I think I'm going to be absolutely fine missing those crowds, Jason. That was my one gripe last year of it, going through it. And we sort of mucked up on the first day and it was still horrendous to get through people. I mean,
yeah.
I'm not a fan of big crowds personally anyway, but
No.
just the fact that I was getting pushed and shoved and nearly getting tripped over and stuff, it's an experience I'm looking forward to not going through all over again this year.
Yeah, I mean, I'll miss the buzz and the excitement of everyone, running for running because you're not allowed to run. Briskly walking at a running pace.
Briskly, I like that.
To get your games. I enjoy that. I do enjoy that, but the wave of people when they open the gates, gatekeeper, open the gates. It's exactly like that scene from Jurassic Park. Everyone becomes a velociraptor, smashes the poor person that's got to open the shutters out of the way.
Loading team, step away.
It's interesting to watch that. I don't like being part of it.
No, 100%.
And yeah, I tend to stand back, and unfortunately, it means I do miss out on getting certain games because I can't be first through the door because I can't deal with that rush of people.
The pre-order system they had last year was really good. That's a good thing, so people don't have to rush, and I hope they continue doing that as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of publishers will continue to do so because it worked incredibly well.
100%, yeah.
So yeah, I hope that's something that they continue to do. But other than that, yeah, the atmosphere of just being at the board game convention in the world is great. It's great. It's fun. I enjoy it. I miss being around those people and just people being excited about board games.
Yeah, the atmosphere, I'm not going to deny, is incredible.
Yeah.
Like the fact that everyone is here for the same hobby as I am is unreal. And the fact it gets bigger every year is crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, just not...
So from what I've seen this year, it has actually expanded a little bit this year.
Oh, okay.
They've not got more halls. However, from what I'm seeing, Hall 7 has now been somewhat taken over with more event space.
Oh, okay.
So obviously from what I remember and the rough layout was you had Hall 8, which was basically completely open.
That's where we were queuing up in.
Fill the place with people and what have you. And then Hall 7 is sort of that as well. But yeah, Hall 7 this year, I believe, has now got exhibition space in it as well.
Wow,
so that's
okay.
even more stuff. But it also, in my mind, means more people are going to be crowded in a smaller space until the doors open. So that I'm not so sure. I'd like to find out how that actually pans out.
Interesting.
So is there any in particular booths or promo cards that you've seen that might be available that you are upset about missing? Or?
The expansion for Castle Combo.
Okay. Castle Combo again, eh?
Castle Combo again. The actual expansion for it.
Okay. Is that the
Again, I looked not much to this expansion wise anyway, but I only just found out today that they are doing an expansion for it. So,
I'm sure it'll come out.
but I'm sure it'll be out here the same weekend anyway. So,
Yeah, something like that. When it comes to missing certain booths, I will always love seeing what Asmodee pulled together. Like last year, where you had Monkey Palace was the big thing, and you had that amazing,
yeah.
massive construction of the Lego pieces for Monkey Palace was absolutely phenomenal.
Very surprised that Simon will be there this year. They weren't last year.
No, they weren't.
Well, they kind of were, but they weren't. They were there, but they were tied with Asmodee.
Yeah.
But but now it's actually Simon this year
Okay, maybe it's
because they're releasing a
last
card
hurrah.
game, and that's it. Just one card game.
It's their last hurrah. They come to say goodbye.
That's it. I mean, good on them. At least they had one last hurrah.
Yeah. It's probably because they've tagged along with like Panda Construction or something.
Most likely.
Panda Manufacturing and things like that. But who knows? But James, what about you? Is there anything in particular that you might have wanted to check out if you were there?
Nothing that springs to mind, but then again, because I'm not going, I haven't really looked
No, that's
as into who's going to be there.
yeah. I think another one that I would be upset about missing this year is the Dice Tower booth. I always enjoy going and chatting with the guys of the Dice Tower.
Good promo
'Cause
cards as
obviously
well.
they don't come to the UK, which I really wish they did. But, I understand it's expensive. There's a reason we don't
Which is
go to
weird because
Gen
it's
Con.
technically closer for them than Germany is.
It is, but it's cheaper to get to, weirdly.
True.
Don't know why.
More demand.
Probably, yeah. So, yeah, I always like going to their stand. Like you said, they've got a lot of promos. But, yeah, that's
Hopefully,
pretty much
one
it.
year they'll come to the Gaming Expo.
I think they used to years ago, but I don't know why they don't anymore. Okay, so there is something I'm going to really miss, and it's the next section on here, which is food at the convention. We joked about
Just
it
one
earlier.
episode without food, Jason.
I know.
That's all I'm asking.
I know, but we joked about it earlier. Those currywursts that we had last year.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
The substitute for the actual bratwurst, which I'm kind of gutted you never really still experienced. But hey, the curry one
Yeah.
was an exception. You know.
yeah. I mean, the curry one was fantastic. I'll still say it. Weirdly, it doesn't taste like curry. It tastes more like teriyaki to me.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
It's really strange, but it was really, really nice. It's kind of annoying that we didn't get to experience the air quotes, food of Essen in the sense of the spiral potatoes, which were normally there. Obviously, they weren't there last year. I don't believe they're there this year. James, have you been to Germany?
Yes. So I can 100% say that it doesn't matter whether it's the Essen convention or just not going to Germany. I love German food. So yes, I'm very upset that I will not be eating German food.
Yeah. And are you going to miss me not cooking you a schnitzel?
I was literally about to say that. I mean, we did at least have schnitzel.
We did.
And
cooked by me, and we
cooked by-
survived.
Yep, and we had those weirdly coloured boiled eggs as
Yeah.
well. It came in a packet as well.
Coloured boiled eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a thing, by the way, folks.
Yeah, it's a bit concerning when you buy a pack of eggs and you go to crack them in the morning to have a fried egg,
And they're already good.
and it's like they're boiled eggs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, weird, very weird. I've still not seen anything like that ever in the
Nope.
UK.
Never will.
Not even in the German supermarkets that we have here. They don't have them here.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It was really interesting to shop in essentially German supermarkets and trying to figure out what's what.
Yeah.
And then, of course, luckily, I've cooked schnitzels before, so I knew how to cook a schnitzel.
yeah.
But it had been many, many years. So buying the pack and cook instructions, surprise, surprise, are all in German. I really hope I remember how to cook these properly. And I apologize if I kill you.
No, you're all good, mate.
You do realise that in your pocket you have a smartphone which will have a translation app on it.
Ah, yes, James, but I don't use my phone all that much. And yes, I probably could have done it. But
I remember when you got the packet of snitching, like, we're going home, we're doing this, we're eating this now.
Always remember that, and he risked giving you food poisoning because you couldn't be asked to pull his phone out of his pocket.
This is it. Thanks, boss.
I'll argue it and say my phone had been used for recording all day, therefore it was on charge and I couldn't do it.
But in all fairness, it did beat us driving around in the middle of the night looking for a Burger King.
It did. Although that
on a bank holiday weekend.
The Burger King was awesome.
It was banging, mate, honestly.
But not related to Essen in any way, shape or form, but I'm sticking it in this category as well. The KFC at the airport.
Yes.
I'm going to miss the KFC.
That sandwich.
Was it Dusseldorf Airport we went?
Certainly was, yep.
Oh, that was, I can't remember what it was. It was like cheese with a hint of chicken underneath.
Maybe a slice of bacon here or there as well. But I remember you went up for the cheese bites, you paid for it, then they actually ran out of the cheese bites and had to give you money back for it.
No, I was most displeased.
Is that not like part of the charm of going abroad though? Is like going to a generic fast food chain like McDonald's or KFC
in a different country.
But then finding out what the regional menu item is that you don't get back home.
100%.
What is that like? When we went to Amsterdam, it was the fritter sauce.
Yeah, fritter sauce. Yeah, fry sauce. Yeah, it was awesome. Really, really good.
Sauce.
But you sort of think to yourself, as like, yeah, when you go abroad, I like to try the local cuisine and sod it, let's just go to KFC and Burger King.
I remember you were so waiting to go back to that KFC on that way home.
I think on day one, after we got to the place, I was like, and we're going to that on the way home. We're getting to the airport early so that we can go to the KFC before the flight. But yeah, absolutely fantastic. But yeah, just talking about the food at the venue itself, we didn't eat too much when we were there, but what we did eat when we were there was so very good. It is expensive, and I would actively say don't try and avoid buying food at Essen if you can. But if you must have something, those currywursts are chef's kiss. So the big question, guys, fear of missing out versus relief. I sort of asked it at the start, and deep down, do you have a true burning fear of missing out, or is it more the nice sigh of relief that you're not going?
I'm going to be honest and say it's a bit of a sigh of relief, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, there isn't an awful lot I'm looking forward to this year. There was, we kind of like did our homework last year, and there was stuff we were looking for, and we came up with like, I think it's a top 20 list or something in here, isn't there?
Yeah.
The fact that I've gone through a list that you've sent to me of all the games coming out, and I can only pick 4 out of it, don't particularly want to make all that effort just for 4 games, personally. No. So hopefully next year there'll be a lot more that I'm planning for. A lot of Kickstarters were delivered to me this year, so that's another reason why I'm not particularly looking forward to going. Cause I don't kind of need to. But for me, I mean, I will miss it, but it's a bit of a relief for me this year, I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
So I actually have a question for both of you two with regards to what Ant's just said there, and you were kind of similar, Jason, is do you think that you can only pick sort of a couple of games off of that list? Because you were kind of similar. You only sort of got sort of 3 or 4 that you've sort of stood out to you, and Ant's the same. Do you think that's just because it's a bad shake this year, as in that's just the way the chips have fallen and there's not really much that's drawing your interest, or do you think that's a symptom of the wider economic thing that's going on, that there's just not much?
No, I think you're right. What you said the first bit there, I don't think there's an awful lot. So the last day we was there, a lot of the companies put in display what they're going to release next year. I'm a big fan of Devere, you know that. Yeah. So I got to see Red Carpet, and I can't remember what the other one's called that they released this year, Covenant. And I'm like, none of this really appeals to me at all. So the fact that I kind of knew that was there already last year says to me, I don't think there was an awful lot I was really going to be putting my foot down for. We were going to try an experiment this year, weren't we? With it, but obviously we pulled out last minute because again there just wasn't anything. I think it's a dud of year releases for me personally. I've watched a lot of content creators pick the games that they're looking forward to. A lot of them are very the same. A lot of them are themes I don't really care about, and I don't want to spend money on stuff that I think would probably come to the table once and I'll just sell it anyway. That's my opinion on it anyway. But Jason, obviously,
what do you think?
Yeah, so I think it's an interesting one. I think last year was a real anomaly. Because while I didn't have experience of Essen in previous years prior to that, I would say that last year was the anomaly because the industry was on catch up following the lockdowns and things like that. So a lot of the games that, halted production during lockdown and what have you, they were all back in full production. They delivered to their backers, and that year was the first year that people were being able to get them retail. So there was a lot of games being released retail last year. I think, as Ant said, like Kickstarter has managed to get its feet back on the ground. So Kickstarters are being delivered regularly again, which obviously we haven't had since prior to the lockdowns. So that's another reason was like, yeah, most of these games that I'm interested in, I backed and they're now turning up. So there's a lot less, as I said, some of these games that are on my list that I am interested in, I know they're coming to me anyway.
Exactly.
So I don't need to buy them.
Yeah, isn't one of them the Ninja Turtles Unmatched?
Yeah, I don't think that's being released at Essen.
Oh, right,
As far as I'm aware, I don't think that's being released at Essen. I will be kind of annoyed if it is. But
It might be being demoed then.
that would be one I would probably pick up while I was there, would be the new Unmatched Volume 3.
Oh, yeah,
Battle
okay,
Watch,
yeah.
which, again, still isn't released in the UK. It's already out in Europe, so stands to reason that will be there. Which I think I picked up last year. I picked up an Unmatched set that hadn't released in the UK.
right.
So that probably would have been something I would have picked up. But yeah, I think genuinely a combination of things of it's a bit of a dud year for games. And also I factor in now that since what's happened in the US has happened in the US, treading very lightly on how I describe that situation. But since that's happened, it does appear that a lot of the publishers are now looking at the UK in a very, very different light, i.e. we don't have problems there. It doesn't cost us a fortune to get stuff there. We need to focus more on there. So our release schedules are now a lot closer to the rest of the world's release schedules than they ever were before. We talked about it earlier. There's some that are being released the same weekend that they are in Essen. Why do I need to go to Essen?
Why do you need to go?
It's just to add to that, it's a sad state of affairs, isn't it? It's like, because nothing has actually changed here to make it more easy. It's just that what's happening in America is just less of a headache here now.
Exactly. Yeah. And, it's not going to last forever. I'm not the first to think it's going to last forever. But if if enough people continue supporting the business here by getting, if they start releasing games here at the same sort of time that they're releasing them at Essen and more people start buying them here, that is going to give the publishers the sign they need that maybe we need to make this a thing instead of release them at Essen and then don't give them to the UK for 7 months. Because by then, the people from the UK have bought them elsewhere. So when it comes out here, surprise, surprise, you're not selling as much. Because people have already got it. Because they've flown to Germany or wherever else to get the games and imported them. So I think when you factor those things in as well, that makes a huge difference. But I don't know. There was a game that I was very interested in picking up at Essen because I know it's getting its EU release around this sort of time, which is, of course, Hot Streak.
Yeah.
I did get my shipping notification that it is on my way to me today.
There we go.
From the USA. So that's coming out in the UK, I believe, in November. So chances are it will be at Essen.
Which I believe is the week after. I think it's the weekend after Essen.
Yes.
So
exactly.
Again, what's another 7 days? Just waiting for it.
Exactly. So yeah, it's
But don't let this put you off going, James. I mean, go experience it, and hopefully you'll get your share next year when we talk about it.
I will do it at least once.
Like I said, going forward, I would love to get back onto my plan of doing this every year. If they're going to keep it at the end of October, I don't think it's going to be an every year thing. It's probably going to be an every other year thing. But I have heard on the grapevine that it is moving back to the start of October.
Nice.
So fingers crossed. I hope that's true. I really hope it's true. But at the time we're recording, 2 weeks, and we'll find out because it'll be announced at Essen.
Is it entirely possible that someone has turned around and gone, maybe clashing it with a big bank holiday weekend and Oktoberfest, maybe not a good idea?
Yeah, exactly. Who knows? But there it is. I think that's all I want to say.
Yeah.
That's all I want to say. I am a little bit upset
But to all of you going,
But,
have a great time. Hope you find some great demoing games. And
Don't rub it in our face.
Don't rub it in our faces, of course. But
Tell us
yeah,
what we're missing.
but yeah, do the usual: like, comment, share, subscribe. Leave a comment below. Let us know how your experience of Essen was and what games you picked up as well. Throw that in our faces because there's probably someone want to play. Make sure you get the correct language as well,
Yes.
because that's another big thing I was a bit disappointed with last year.
What, picking up a game that was German?
Well, for example,
In Germany.
Well, for example, it's like Cosmos released The Gang, which is just a simple card game, all in German.
Yeah.
Like usually a company has maybe a few hundred
both.
in English, but Cosmos was going all out last year, none in English whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a bit bad.
And that wasn't just that game; there were other games and stuff as well. But yeah, make sure you pick up the right language, guys.
Good shout. Good shout. So yeah, obviously those people that are going to Essen, we do really hope that you have a great time. I know we're bitter, we're British, we're entitled to be bitter. That's what we do. I think we're going to go again.
Yeah.
It's not the end.
We will go again.
It's not the last time we're going, but yeah, we are going to try and go again. Hopefully next year. Fingers crossed. We'll figure out a way.
If not, we might do an experiment me and James have been talking about.
Yes, yes. Be
But stay
knackering.
tuned in a year's time, folks.
Yeah. I'm tempted to do it just for the lols of a video, but
I mean, great content, honestly.
it would be amazing if we could do it. Right, let's head off, guys, because I'm running out of pretzels. The beer is running low. I will say apologies to those that tuned in to watch the video of this. We had technical issues, so this is being released in audio only.
Hey!
But it will still
Back
be
to the old
available
days.
on YouTube. So it's been a while since we did this audio only.
It is.
Just more annoying that I set the whole room up for video and then it went. The camera decided to veer off to the left and look at something completely different. So,
Damn you, Jason, and your wavings.
I know. It's AI tracking, mate. It's rubbish. Absolutely rubbish. But there you go. Thank you very much for tuning in, listening to us ramble and moan and grumble and whatever else it is we've been doing. But yeah, until next time, it'll be after Essen now. I have been Jason.
I have been James.
I've been Ant.
And you have been listening to the Meeple Minded podcast. Join us next time for more tabletop gaming goodness. Ta-ta and goodbye.